Richard. Next is Tom Lingenfelter, also an independent candidate.
I did not prepare anything to say. I like to listen to the other people first and see if they missed anything. I don't think they missed much. I've known Carl for a long time. I don't think he said anything that I disagree with. And I don't see any reason to repeat a lot of the same things all over again. I've had a lot of the same experiences he has. I've run for office many times. In fact, I'm known as the perennial candidate, which is a misuse of the term because that means they're yearly, and I haven't run every year. But I've run enough, or tried to run enough, to be thrown off the ballot 10 times, either by the Republicans or the Democrats. I've run as a Republican, and they threw me off the ballot in a primary. I run as a Democrat, and they've thrown me off the ballot in a primary. I run as an independent, and they've thrown me off the ballot. This year, I was running for Congress, and I was thrown off the ballot by the Republicans. So I don't have much, I guess, support for either one of the two parties, because they both control the system. They're keeping us all off the ballot, especially this year. They threw almost everybody off. And so I did survive running for the 143rd House seat. I guess they overlooked that when they were trying to throw me off from Congress. Because I only did it at the last minute just because I could. And only required 406 signatures. Now for Congress, in my district, they required 4,000 signatures. We got up 4,800 in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And they threw me off because I listened to the Board of Elections. On the first page of their instructions, they say that circulators do not have to be residents of the district that they circulate for. We all know that, and we've used them for the last 8 years, occasionally. I had 2 people that did circulate that lived in Montgomery County, I believe, in a different district. I immediately lost 1,000 of those signatures. The judge said, you shouldn't have listened to the State Department. So, what he thought the State Department did wrong, he blamed me for it, and I paid the price. Because then he proceeded to set up some other examples or evidence to throw me off. We are in the federal courts now over it, and it's still sitting there. We're in our second reconsideration, and the judge has not even answered that question, whether that was appropriate for the State Department or for the judge to dishonor him. So I have a few other notes I made during the time here that I was listening to these guys, and I must admit, both of them said what you need to hear, so I don't want to repeat any of that. So I told you I've been off the ballot 10 times. I've run as an independent, a Republican, and Democrat. But the problem has always been access to the ballot. Because once you run for office, and if you get through the endorsement process, which is trying to discourage you to run, or if you don't get thrown off, then your campaign is basically shot by then because you spent all your time getting on the ballot. So you have no chance in the primary. I have run fairly successfully in both parties. I won a state committee seat twice against the machine. I got a 90% vote in a Democrat primary and a 47% in a general election. But I have trouble getting into the general election. Now I'm in the general election for the 143rd. Now, my main reason for continuing the 143rd, aside from the fact that I probably can't win because they're ignoring me totally, is ballot access. If you do not have ballot access as an independent, third party, a Republican, or a Democrat, you have no way of getting in to change the system. Now that brings me to the next speaker, is Senator Fulmer. He's one of the few people I think he's a Republican, but he is fighting for us to make for ballot access. We need more people like him. He can't do it alone. So that's the fact that you should be running for a state house or senate seat, or supporting somebody that's running. You're not going to change the system in this state or the country until you change the people. The only way to change the people is get them on the ballot, even though it's difficult. Either running as a Republican or Democrat or independent or third party. Most of these independent and third party seats for local races is not really that difficult to get on the ballot, signature-wise. But most people, they need 400 signatures. They get 425, 450. Makes them vulnerable. If you need 400, get 1,500. Follow the rules. Plan ahead. But you're making it easy for them to throw us off the ballot. Of course, I tell people they can throw you off the ballot anytime they want to. They just change the rules. But you have no chance if you don't abide the signature problem. I had something I wanted to read to you. This is a quote. Democracy begins with elections. Elections, accountability, and turnover. For those who want to change the country in order to advance these processes faster, advance democratic processes, the participation of people is needed. It is necessary to have parties, but go and try to register a party. Now, Pennsylvania is probably at least one of the 4 worst states in America to get on the ballot and stay on the ballot. Now, who do you think said that? It wasn't an American. It was a Russian, Gorbachev. He's living in Russia. He tried to start a party in Russia. He got to give it up. He had the same problem there that we have here. Now, who's imitating who? It's human nature. Throughout history, the ruling class has done everything to keep everybody out. And we see that as a prime example is Pennsylvania and the way they enforce or don't enforce their laws. So I just want to reiterate that if you want to know anything about the problems in Pennsylvania election law, talk to Carl Romanelli. And if he doesn't have the answer, you talk to me. Between the two of us, I don't think there's much we haven't been exposed to or participated in. I've been in court many times for ballot access, and you haven't heard about it, have you? I've been in court for the petition process. I've probably been in court 50 to 100 times over ballot access and petition problems and recounting of votes. The election system, now, the ballot access necessary, but the election system in Pennsylvania is horrendous. I don't believe it can be fixed. If I were the Secretary of State, I would push for one thing. I'd abolish all election laws in Pennsylvania and start from scratch and do it right. It can be done. That's what I would do if I'm elected in 143rd as an independent. That will be my prime job in Harrisburg. Ballot access. If you want to fix the system, change the ballot system first. Make it possible to have people come here to really do the right thing. Thank you.